Okay.
So welcome everybody to the Study of the KYBALION Week 2, and welcome to the call. We love having you here, and Pete and I are always excited to spend, well, it's 7 o'clock your time, not 7 o'clock where I am, but that's okay.
That's all good. So welcome to the Mastermind. We're so happy to have you back with us. And I'm just going to go a little bit into a review of what we did last week. So last week we looked at the first principle, which was the principle of mentalism. And mentalism explained that all is in the mind and that we are living in a mental universe, right? The principle embodied that the understanding that everything in the universe is created by the thought or mind. There is nothing that exists in the material universe where there is not the case. So we understand that whatever's going on in here is going on out there. So I want you to understand that these principles are a little bit like stairs. They're one like on top of the other, but they kind of all blend in. Okay, they all blend in. They're all working simultaneously. Today we're going to dive into the principle of correspondence and the principle of vibration, and I'm going to dive into you with correspondence, and Carolyn will dive into vibration. All right, so the principle of correspondence is the second and seventh of the seven Hermetic Principles of the KYBALION. The principle of correspondence states that there is always a correspondence between the laws of phenomena and the various planes of being of life. There is harmony, agreement, and correspondence between these planes. There's three planes: the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. And so what does correspondence means? Correspondence means similarity, resemblance, and communication. You can think of correspondence a little bit like, an email, something that goes out and comes back, when people reply, or a letter. When you send out, it comes back. So when you think of correspondence, think of it like that. And the law is defined, the principle is defined by these words: as above, so below; as below, so above. And to give you guys a picture, because you guys know I love to work in pictures, think of it if ever you're in, you're at a lake, or, especially in the morning, or when the lake is calm, you could see the reflection of the houses or the trees right into the lake. Like the lake almost becomes a mirror, so you can really see the as above, so below. So I want you guys to, put that in your mind. So this second Hermetic principle simply opens up to the fact that we know that we are living in a universe of thought power. We know that we are capable of creative thought. We know that we are vibrational entities living in a vibrational realm. And so as we start to take this particular principle and apply it and unravel and understand it, what we're doing is unlocking a very, very important key to the knowledge on how to apply the wisdom. Because the fact that everything exists emanates from the same source, the all. Everything comes from the all mind, right? This means that these same laws, all these principles, are the characteristics, and they apply to every single unit of activity, regardless of how minute or how cosmic. We have the power of thought, of intellect, that we are gifted with, and unravel the meaning of the Hermetic principle really, truly gives us the key application to the next principle, which is the principle of vibration, which we'll get into a few minutes. So basically, thoughts and vibrations go together because the thoughts give us the feeling give us the vibration, meaning are we feeling good? Are we feeling anxiety? Are we feeling scared? Are we feeling secure? All of these feelings come as a result of our thoughts, and it affects our vibration, meaning what we bring into our life. Because you have to remember the principle, as above, so below. Below means on the inside, you can't see what's going on, right? It's below. It's like when you look at the reflection of the water. Below that, when you jump into the water, you can go way below what's there, right? Even though it just looks like a surface. So you have to remember that. And so vibration is what brings things together. So there are three great planes: the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. And what I want you to understand is that they all blend in together. It's not like 1, 2, and 3. No, it's more like, think of it like a rainbow. The colors just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So it's just like in degrees, right? So I want you to remember that. As we spiral through the physical, the mental, and the spiritual, we learned that by mastering the creative process here on the physical plane, we open up our evolutionary force. So what is thought? Thought is a form of energy. And so by applying thought to any of these different areas, these different frequencies, we're able to do is to come into resonance, into harmony of what is important. The Hermits describe it in this chapter as correspondence. It's a layer of matter showing up as energy that is ethereal. It's ethereal substance with extreme tenuity, almost impossible to sense. But this tenuous substance, this ethereal substance, does indeed pervade all universe and space. And what does it mean? It means that everything starts with thought, and that your thought goes through all these different layers. It goes through all these different layers, and although you can't see it, it's still going through all these different layers. We're all spiritual beings, but we have an intellect, and we're actually living with a physical experience. So that gives us the ability to take and apply this knowledge to thinking and acting in such a way that we have the ability to manifest whatever we desire. We are the centers of creative thought, and we're capable of emanating that thought energy. Then you have to ask yourself, what is your highest and best? What do you want to be, do, and have? What do you believe? What can you conceive? And believe and pursue this with passion. So because everything starts with thought, you really have to think, what do I want to create? What am I thinking? If you, for example, want to have like a great situation, say you have like an argument with someone, you're thinking, what is the end result that I want? And really the end result, is it to be angry at that person, or the end result is really to love that person and have a great relationship? So you are the one who steers your thoughts, who steers what you get as a result on the physical plane, and who steers your vibration to get it. So if you respond differently to situations, you're going to get a different response, as above, so below, right? So you decided, I'm going to have a loving relationship, and I will not allow myself to, get into this drama, So I'm going to snap myself out of it, and I'm going to recreate the scenario the way I want it, so I can navigate the relationship, from as above, so below. So there's nothing holding you back except your own belief system. Now, all these 7 Hermetic principles apply, and they're in full operation on the physical, mental, and spiritual plane. We are centers of creative thoughts. So this is when Caroline and I always tell you that we are, our mind is our workshop, because everything starts from here. You have a great thought, you have a great day. If you wake up and you decide it's a shitty day, it's, I hate going to work and things like that, well, your day and everybody else will respond to you like that. Then you wonder, why is she acting so mean to me? Well, where's your thoughts, girl? Where's your thoughts, or guys, So what this means is the principle is mental substance, and the first principle of mentalism, and every one of us are held in the mind of the infinite. The matrix is the mental energy of universal mental energy. What we manifest in our life, everything happens as a result of causation. So on the final note is that thoughts that we have, that we create by the principle of correspondence, means that all the heavens above and the earth below must be ordered by the same thoughts. So another way of explaining it is, as it is inside, so it is outside. Okay, as it is inside, so it is outside. The outside, I want you to always remember this. The outside is always the out picture of what is on the inside. So if you think a little bit like your mind, like a camera, like when you take pictures, whatever you focus on, wherever you go and you take a picture of, that's what's going to appear as a picture. So I hope that, so that's in all the principle of correspondence. Of course, when you read it in the KYBALION, it goes deep through many, many levels, but all in all, the easy peasy way of understanding it is pretty much, as above, so below. So go ahead, Carolyn. Carolyn will help us dive into vibration and show us how this principle of vibration builds on correspondence.
Yeah, vibration is one of my favorites. So nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates, right? So the great third principle, Hermetic principle, the principle of vibration, embodies the truth that motion is manifest in everything in the universe, that nothing is at rest, that everything moves, vibrates in circles. The Hermetic teachings are that not only is everything in constant movement and vibration, but that the differences between the various manifestations of the universal power are due entirely to the varying rate and mode of vibration. So I'll explain that in a second. The teachings are to the effect that spirit is at one end of the pole of vibration and the other pole is matter. Right, so Pazit was talking about the 3 levels of correspondence. Well, the polar opposite, which the law of polarity comes next, but just the if you think of the 2 extremes of vibration, one is your spirit, and the other one is matter. And between these 2 poles are millions upon millions of different rates and modes of vibration. Right? So, hang on a second. So the Hermetic teachings go much further than modern science do. Okay, they teach that all manifestation of thought, emotion, reason, will, or desire, or any mental state or condition are accompanied by vibrations, a portion of which are thrown off and which tend to affect the minds of other persons by induction. This is the principle which produces the phenomena of telepathy, mental influence, and other forms of action and power of mind over mind, with which in the general public is rapidly becoming acquainted owing to the wide dissemination of the knowledge of various schools. Every thought, emotion, or mental state has its corresponding rate and mode of vibration. So when we talk about levels of vibration, Pazit and I have often described it as frequencies, right? So if you think of it in terms of radio stations, you know, if you want to be in harmony in thought with another person, but they're vibrating at a slower rate, they're kind of on a different radio frequency. So it's pretty hard to be in alignment or in harmony with somebody who's on a completely different frequency that you are. So it's either a faster frequency or a slower frequency, but if you want to be on the same frequency, then you have to vibrate at that same speed. Right? And by an effort of the will of the person or of other persons, our mental states may be reproduced just as musical tone may be reproduced by causing an instrument to vibrate at a certain rate. By a knowledge of the principle of vibration as applied to mental phenomena, one may polarize his mind. That's like taking a picture with a camera, a Polaroid camera, right? If you want to remember about polarizing your images, just think of the Polaroid camera. It's exactly what we do. You polarize your mind at any degree, and you gain a perfect control over your mental state and your moods. In the same way, you may affect the minds of others, producing the desired mental state in them. In short, you may be able to produce on the mental plane that which science produces on the physical plane. So that's the 2 polar ends of things, your spiritual side and the matter side. So the mental plane and the physical plane. Vibrations at will is the power of course that may be acquired by proper instruction, study, like what you're doing now, exercises, and practice. So I have a couple of notes here that I took that I really liked. So now that we know that the law of vibration is one of the 7 principles, it's the 3rd of the 7. And so if this intelligence dwells within everything and everything vibrates, there's a way of coming into harmonious communication with that, regardless of what it is that we're trying to come into harmony with. If you form a mental image, you are creating that imagery and you bring it from your mind to create it on the outside, whatever it is that you're envisioning. So the simplest way to remember vibrational energy is to think about creating what you want requires you to get yourself in the feeling of that wish fulfilled. You want to be in harmony with the feeling of what it is that you want to create, right? And if you get yourself in alignment in that same feeling, you'll be able to actually reproduce on the outside what you have in the image on the inside. So how do we intentionally change our vibrational frequency? Here's a little exercise for you. Close your eyes and repeat. I am love, I am joy, I am abundance. I am love, I am joy, I am abundance. And concentrate on how that makes you feel. Why? because the feeling is coupled with your emotional state, and that is your vibrational frequency that you are broadcasting out into the universe, how you feel. So when you have a feeling of doubt or despair or unhappiness or unfulfillment, that's what you're broadcasting. And that which you are broadcasting is what you are attracting. And it's what you attract what you resonate. So when Pazit said before, you look at what happens on the outside and you're wondering why people are kind of like acting in certain ways, or you perceive they're acting in certain ways, you have to take a look at what your energy is. What are you putting out into the universe that they're actually reacting to? So you have to really always be mindful of your thinking. So we must come into control of what we are broadcasting and receiving. We've got to check our instrument panel and take a look at what we're broadcasting and what frequency we're sending out. So you look at it like a speedometer on your car. Your emotional state is like a dashboard. If you want to go to 100 miles an hour, you have to be in a very high vibrational state, and that's love, joy, and abundance. The opposite is despair, hopelessness, hatred, jealousy. That's the other pole. That's the other vibrational frequency. So if you want to attract all those wonderful things, first you have to feel them, and you have to be in that state, and then you'll attract exactly what you are, what you're feeling. So that's why it's always so important to check, right? So it says, check your dashboard and then choose to step up the speed of your vibration. Choose a thought, repeat it, and precede it with the I am. I am joy, I am love, I am abundance. The most powerful statement, because it's you that you're speaking to. And once you get really good at controlling your own vibrational frequency, what you're doing is you're inducing that frequency into the minds of other people. And by causing our thoughts to vibrate at a certain frequency, we're actually begin to cause the things we think about to be created. So we live our lives in accordance with these 7 principles, and by mastering them, we can write our own story. This is how we create our own reality.
Yeah, and what I was going to add as an extra trick, which I find is really amazing, is when you think of the end feeling, I would associate it to a photo. So, for example, if you think joy, what do you see when you close your mind? What do you see? Do you see somebody jumping in the air? Do you see, I don't know, like tulips, like a field of tulips? What represents joy to you? Do you see sun? Associate pictures with the feeling. Okay, because pictures are the language of the subconscious mind, and this is what creates your feelings, right? So when you think of love, think of an image that represents love to you, whatever it is to you, whether it's your dog, I don't know what it is. It could be your dog, it could be the ocean for some people. Sometimes the feeling is represented not necessarily by a person, but by an image that when you look at it gives you that feeling. So if you want to power up your power of creation, I strongly suggest that not only, we do think in pictures. So the first thing is you have the thought, and then you put the images that you want on your mind. So when you see, for example, your partner or someone at work, and you decide what kind of relationship you have, have a picture on the screen of your mind. Like if you're going to have like a happy, prosperous day, have that image of, prosperity. It could be like maybe a tree, a tree's prosperity, right? So when you're going to work, you think of like trees, you think of like, okay, this is my place of abundance. And so you start getting this like feeling good, I feel good that I'm here. And of course, as a result, the Polaroid, right? The picture of what you get, the out picture of your life is going to match the in picture of what you're thinking and what you're creating in here. So,
and a good way to start every day, if you can commit to like 10 minutes a day or 5 minutes every single morning, and actually spend it in the quiet and put the mental picture in your mind, on the screen of your mind, about either the kind of day that you intend to have. For example, what kind of flight I intended to have. I picture that in my mind before I take off on any flight. I envision exactly what kind of flight that I want to have. And so you can do the same thing with your day. You can envision the kind of day you want to have, and you can put yourself in that feeling. I start my day with the ocean. I'm not at the ocean, but I'm at the ocean. So I put my headphones on and I listen to the sea, and then I imagine myself there, and I get overwhelmed with this feeling. First of all, of abundance. For me, the ocean is abundance. It's like ever expanding, and it's like Pazit, when it pours rain in Miami, she's always thinking abundance. Like rain is abundance. People get up and see rain and go, "Oh, it's raining. What an
Yeah.
ugly day." She doesn't choose to look at rain that way.
I
Rain
see
for her
Rainmaker.
is rainmaker. It's money. It's abundance. It's overwhelming amounts of anything good you could imagine raining down upon her. That's how I see the ocean. So once you identify what makes you feel really good, then just start your day that way. And if you were to do that as an experiment, I guarantee you would shift the vibrational energy of everybody and everything in your path. You get to the end of the day and go, wow, like everything just kind of flowed today. I wonder why.
Right. And
Get
there's
to
another thing.
control it.
Right. And there's another situation I wanted to share with you guys because I want to show you your power and how you can use it like in many different situations. There was a situation where there was a couple. They were at the airport and the plane was being delayed. They announced it on the microphone that the plane was being delayed, and they didn't want to be delayed because they were having connecting flights. And so what they did was it was a husband and wife. What they did is they rewrote the story right there at the airport. They both went into meditation and they said they saw their plane taking off on time. They saw no delays. They saw everything being fixed. They even heard the guy on the announcement saying, okay, everything's back on time. We're taking off. We were able to resolve it. It wasn't like a big problem, And within the hour, they get a message saying that everything was on time. Like, oh, actually, it wasn't within the hours, like within the next, few minutes or so after they finished their meditation, they heard the attendant say, we just want to let you know that we got another plane to replace this one. So we're going to be able to get everybody on time for their location. So I want to remind you how powerful this is. You can always rewrite a situation. And this can apply to anything. Even if you just had, an argument with somebody, you can okay, finish the argument, go in your room, and think of the way you would have liked it to be. Really, really, the way you would have wanted it to be. So maybe the way you wanted it to be is that there was understanding and communication, and not an argument. So you kind of see this person understanding you, and then you just go back into your reality and see what happens. It's really, really fun. So you guys, you have this power, and I commend you to use it, to use it and to have fun with it and to experiment with it. And especially in situations like that, I rewrite my days very often. If something doesn't go as I wish, I go in, I write it as I wish, and I come out again. And so just remember that we are the creators of our reality. You don't have to accept a reality. Another example was a very good friend of mine that I mentor him. There was this court case where he was having money held back for a very long time. Like it was like a period of like 5 years, and there was lawyers going back and forth, and there was an amount that was owed to him and that was always held back. And he always kept getting frustrated, the court cases and everything. And finally it came to a close, and he was like, this is my big day. Finally, the court is going to see it my way. I'm going to get my money. And the court ruled not in his favor. So he called me. He's like, what's going on? So I told him, listen, this is what we're going to do. Okay. So what we did is we rewrote the verdict, and I had him write a letter from the judge saying that, hey, so-and-so, we are sorry after, we're reopening the case. There was this little detail that we missed, and we want to let you know that what is owed to you will come to you. Exactly 3 weeks from the day that he wrote this letter, they reopened the case, and he got exactly the amount that was owed to him. So I'm giving you these examples and these stories to show you what's possible. I mean, these are all situations that were done very recently. So this is not like things from like 20 years ago, although it's always working. So I always want to remind you that you can always recreate, okay, the out picture. You can always rewrite the story the way you wish it to be. So anytime that you have a situation that you feel is not the outcome that you're looking for, why don't you look at it and say, okay, this is fun. Let me go play. And you go play in your mind. Okay, instead of getting upset and, falling victim to the circumstances, why don't you say, all right, this is fun. I'm going to go experiment now. And you go into your quiet place, you go inside of you rewrite it the way you want it, and you see it, you feel it. And once you feel it, you let it go and you walk back into the space of reality. So have fun, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a very playful universe, and you can reverse anything you want just by thought and feelings and being patient and knowing that what you're doing is working.
Yeah, I was just looking at Tracy had written a comment about rewriting dreams. In your dreams that's where your subconscious mind is fully awake, right? If you want to set your sleep up, go to bed thinking all these abundant thoughts, thinking all of your good. That's why gratitude is so important before you go to sleep at night, because you're putting your subconscious mind right in the vibration you want it, because it's subjective. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and real. It takes what you tell it to be true. So you want to reprogram your subconscious mind. The best time to do that is during your sleep time. So if you're rewriting dreams, you can just do the same thing, but in your waking dream instead of your sleeping dream. Right?
Right.
Because that's the beauty of the power that we have. We can tell the subconscious mind. I mean, our thinking mind is our conscious mind, right? But where all our belief systems are, all the things that we tell ourselves that aren't true, they're lodged in there in belief systems in our subconscious mind. So we want to reprogram those. And so how do you do that? Well, you give yourself the outcome that you want. You rewrite the script for yourself, and then you repeat it over and over again until your subconscious mind just takes it as so. And then you'll start living the reality.
Exactly. I was going to add to Carolyn, what I love about this process is that you can create from any spot that you at. You don't have to clean up your past. You don't have to clean up all your beliefs. You don't have to spend years cleaning up thinking, oh, I got to fix this. No, fuck fixing. You don't have time to fix. You move forward. You move forward. You create. Okay, you're not here to fix. If you're fixing, you're staying in the problem, because that means there's always something to fix. You got to remember that. So what you want to do is what do you want to create? A vision for how you want things to be. And what do you want to feed? What do you want to give energy to? You want to give energy to the feeling, to the situation that you want, to the outcome that you want.
That's so true, because when you're focusing on the past and what happened then and rewriting it and rehashing it and refocusing on it, you're giving energy to what you don't want. You're expanding. Whatever we focus on expands. So if you're thinking about the past and, gee, I really need to go revisit that, I got to fix that, I got to go and talk that through and think about it. That was then. This is now. You can start right this red hot minute, as Esther says, and you can start right now. You don't have to go back. You don't have to spend any more time back there, because you can't do anything about what happened 1 minute ago, but you can start creating your future right now, the way you picture it to be.
Exactly. So I think that what we'll do is we'll open up the floor for conversation for the mastermind. We invite you, if you need anything from the mastermind, please let us know. Of course, when there's more energy, we work like batteries, right? We power up a thought. So Charlene sold her house. This was her, mastermind. She asked the mastermind last week, if we can all vibrate and help her sell the house. And for me, I saw her house sold. I saw that red sold. And it was funny because she posted a sign with her real estate agent, which had the red sold sign, and I already saw it. I was like, that's it, it's a done deal. So Charlene, used her mind, used the power of the mastermind, and we want to show you how powerful this is. I don't want you to think that, oh, it's just a coincidence. No, there is no coincidence. Everything works by thought. Because she thought it was going to sell fast, it sold fast. And on that, I also have a story. I've been trying to sell my house back in the day. Now it's already sold, but my house was on the market for 3 years, and it did not sell until I got this feeling and I decided that it's going to sell. Like within a week, I got a new real estate agent, and my real estate agent, I only signed her up for 3 months. And she's like, I don't do 3 months. I only do 6 months. I said, you're not even going to need the 3 months. Don't even worry about it, And she's like, I never do this. I said, well, listen, can you or can't you, take this deal? She's like, okay, game on, So like, okay. I went to Vegas, and within a week, the house got sold. Once I made up my mind, once I saw it sold, once there was no more like, I want to sell, but I don't know. I mean, I love my house. Once I let go and I said, I'm ready, I'm selling, I'm moving to Miami, within a week, the house was sold. So it is the power of a decision, and the energy that we gave it. And I already saw it empty in my head. My house was, although it was all furnished, I saw it empty, like it was ready to give. And so so it is the power of your mind and your thoughts. And I know for myself, 100%, you know, that we create our reality. So again, more examples, more power to you. I want you guys to always think of these examples, to always feed your mind. Well, if they did it, so can I. Okay.
Yeah, and you probably don't, well, you're creating every single minute of every single day. You're creating a reality, whether you're conscious of it or not. Everything that happens is a result of you thinking about something, whether it's something you want or something unwanted. So use the power of your thoughts to create exactly what it is that you want. But if you just think back over the last couple of days, over the last week, you could probably identify things that showed up directly from your thought. So
Yes.
you can track what it is that you're, and I mean, because it's right, just have fun with it, because it is fun. I use the power of my mind to stop turbulence, and I know that sounds insane, but I'm telling you, it works every time, right? I just imagine the airflow that I want, and so I tell it to stop, and it does.
Yeah, you got to start connecting your thoughts with your pictures on the outside. So you look at your thoughts and you look at your reality and you're like, okay, all
What is
right.
it that I want?
What is it that I want? Now I see what I'm getting. And if what you're getting is not what you want, you know that you have the power of your mind to create and to feel what you want, and then walk into that. You have to remember there is no separation between the three planes. It's all a question of degrees. So once you're within those degrees, then you'll see it in your physical world.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
that's why
guys.
it's so important to keep yourself in a vibrational frequency that's elevated, right? In those really good feeling thoughts, because that's what you're going to attract, the same
Absolutely.
energy, the same vibrational energy. So, you know, guys, anytime that you have something show up in your experience and it's not wanted, you just go right into your workshop and go, what have I been doing in there? What have I been hammering? Right? What have I been doing? I need to really change the tools I'm using. I need to change where I'm focusing my attention. And then once you do that, everything on the outside shifts as well. So
Yeah.
fun. Have
And
fun
keep
with
a journal. Yeah, and keep a journal. Keep a journal and start writing down. You know, I keep a journal and I write down, like, you know, what I'm thinking. And then, oh my God, when it materialized, you know, it's so much fun. So you start keeping track. So let's open the floor, guys. We'd like to hear your thoughts, what you understood. If you want if you have a situation and you'd like the power of the mastermind to help you clear it up, you know, that's what we're here for. We're here to, you know, help you grow, help you understand. So please, anyone who wants to go and share, and maybe also share your experience, how now that you're aware of the laws, how you are using them, how you're connecting the dots. Share your stories with everybody else. So any hands? Carolyn, do you see anyone? Oh, okay, Charlene. Let's go, Charlene.
Good morning, everyone. And I just want to say it is such a blessing to be in your light. And this is so invaluable. Like, I can't even express what this is doing in my life, and being part of this group. So, and yes, I kept seeing the house that I was going to and letting go of worry. Because sometimes, well, what if this, what if that? So that's the vibration we don't want to be in. And I just kept picturing the house, and I say, the universe, God will take care of this. So I want to thank everyone that was also putting that energy out. And yeah, it's all good.
Well, so good, Charlene. So good to hear. And I love the fact that, you know, you're focusing on already on the other house. So that's it. You already left, you know?
You let go. You
It's
let
very
go.
powerful. Absolutely. It's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. And we love when things like this happen in the group, because it shows people what's possible. You know, what we want to do is, we know that you know that it's possible, but we want you to have the conviction, because once you have the conviction, you become unstoppable. You become unstoppable. It's not like, oh, does this, maybe this works for her, doesn't work. No, it works for every single person who uses their mind in a certain way.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, you made a really good point about your house as well. So once you made that firm decision, everything happened. So I was teetering back and forth, uncertainty. So in that place, nothing was happening. But once I made a firm decision, and basically the house has been on the market for a while, and it's a beautiful home. But since last Sunday, in 1 week, it's sold.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I want that as a testimony.
Okay, no problem. I'll send you a message.
No coincidence there.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, but it's so true because we had a very similar story. You know, me too. When I wanted to leave to Miami for the last 3 years, but I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm not leaving because my business was doing really well. You know, it was really built up. So I was like you said, I was yes and no. So I was moving forward.
Well, you're giving confusing signals.
I was giving confusing signals. And the moment that I decided, I said, I'm moving to Miami. I'm telling you, within a week, the agent called me. She's like, you're not going to believe it. I said, I know. You have an offer, don't you? She said, how did you know? She's like, how did you know? Like, what are you, like, you can tell fortune? I said, no, but you could create your reality. So,
yeah.
So we play with that. But creating your reality is almost like, you know, being able to foresee your own future. How about that? You're able to foresee your future in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
your personal reality.
If we're in a state of uncertainty, it's like having 1 foot here and 1 foot there. You're kind of on the fence all the time.
Right.
The universe is like,
well, if you're in a state of uncertainty, your results will be uncertain.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you
and
want
also the power,
you need to make that. You need to make decisions, and making decisions.
Exactly.
People who make decisions promptly really do get results very, very promptly as well.
Yeah, because a decision makes you take one direction, not two, you know? The analogy that people gave me is, that my mentor gave me is like when you have a horse, right? When you have two horses going in two different directions, they're not really pulling. But now when you get both horses going in one direction, now you got horsepower, now you're going. A decision, this is what a decision does. It's two horses coming together and pulling you towards one direction. They're not like both going like this. You're not going anywhere. You're not. So that's why you don't want to have split feelings between what you want and what you don't want. You want to know what you want, and that's it, and you go for it. And once you have the affirmative decision, you see, even for Charlene, it happened within a week, and my house was sold within a week of the decision that I took that I'm moving to Miami. 1 week. Yeah. So please, anybody else, please share with us your stories, or share with us how you can use this principle to apply to one of your situations. Go ahead, Tracy.
Hi everyone.
Hey, Tracy.
Congratulations, Charlene. That's great.
Thank you.
I had mentioned this before in our past group, but I was born of a form of muscular dystrophy, and I was in a wheelchair. I was put in a wheelchair by the doctors at 8 just because I was falling, and they were afraid I was going to hurt myself further. And once I made up my mind that I wasn't going to stay there, and I could actually envision myself walking and dancing in that, okay, it took the time it took because I had to rebuild my body, but everything just largely flowed. And if I did doubt it at any time, then I would fall, which I always found kind of interesting. So it really was about keeping in that mindset that this is how I saw myself, both, you know, largely in the future, but there was this element of I am this now too. And it was amazing. I've applied this to other parts of my life, but I'm realizing that not everything is as easy in some ways. Because, for example, my relationship, I definitely applied it to attract the relationship, where I would repeat every single day a certain list of, you know, so-and-so and I are married, so-and-so and I wake up every day together, so-and-so and I can face any problem that comes our way, you know, we don't have to worry, blah, blah, blah. And that happened. And then I got kind of complacent. And things started happening, just dramas coming in from family and that kind of disturbed the balance. And now I'm realizing that it is an ongoing practice, that it's really, really important to kind of keep in that vibration and mindset. Because I was briefly, well, more than briefly, dragged down into another vibration because of things going around externally.
Yep.
And
So
now
you
I'm
let your
seeing
exterior world affect your interior world instead
that's
of the other way
exactly.
around.
And now I've past 3 years, I've been slowly kind of pulling back and recognizing the importance of doing this all the time, you know, really trying to, regardless of what's going on.
And don't forget, there's also the law of rhythm. We studied that in the 11 laws, right? So as much as we may be focused in one direction, and then all of a sudden we think, oh, well, it's not really happening to my expectations, my timetable. Universe doesn't work by our timetable; it works by its own, right? So the law of the law of gender, that will give us the gestational period of what that idea will, how it will manifest, how long it'll take to manifest, and if your vibrational energy kind of goes tick-tock back and forth and doesn't stay focused in one direction, that will also determine how long what it is that you want takes to come to you, because you always need to be in the vibrational energy of what you want. So the universe responds to what you the frequency that you're sending out. So if you decide that you're really focused and then you kind of refocus back on the outside world and then come back, it's going to take longer.
Yeah, I'm
right?
seeing that.
Yeah. So, but once you're aware of that, then you can shift it. Then you can change it. You know, most of this is about awareness and these laws. Once you become aware of them and you get the knowledge of them and then start putting these things into practice, then you realize how much magic is in your life. You can consciously create anything that you want in your life.
Exactly. And I also wanted to remind you that, like you said, we're trained by the outside circumstances, you know. I recently read a story where the doctors that give a patient and they tell him, hey, you know, you're going to die. You only have like a few months to live. When the patient accepts that verdict, they all die within the amount of time that the doctor predicted, because they accepted that as their truth.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories of people that did not accept the verdict of the doctor, and they decided to take life into their own hands and said that I'm going to live, and they lived. So that just goes to show you how the power of thought is creative. Like you said, I will not be in a wheelchair, I will walk. And so now you know that you have this power. You already have experience from your past experience and still your experience every day, because we are always creating, whether good or bad. We are always creating. Now, if you don't like what you create, you know that you have the power to change the images in your mind. You don't need to go clean up the past. You don't need to go, all you got to do is change your focus of what, from what you don't want to what you want. And like the two horses, keep it in that direction. So when your mind goes back to the, to the familiar past, you bring it back. It goes back, you bring it back. It's almost like training a dog, It's almost like training a dog. We're training ourselves, to become creators. We had it as children, but we were trained, it was trained out of us, and now we're training ourselves back to use our power. So it's really the same. So like she said, the time is only because we're flip-flopping. What I noticed in my experience from manifesting very often is that the moment I focus and I make a decision and I put all the energy into it, it happens very, very fast. It happens fast. The only time it takes time is when there's mixed ideas. So just decide what you want, put all your focus and energy into that. When it shifts, bring it back. It shifts, bring it back. That's the practice we talk about. That's the practice, bringing it back.
Yeah, and staying in the study of these laws, like if you were to, even the 11 laws that we did previous to this, and these 7 principles, because they are really the basis of everything that came after. You take this as a study and read them over, and every time you read them, you're going to get something a little different out of them. I've read some of this material for 20 years, and it's really interesting how I end up back in a book, like The Science of Getting Rich, for example, or Think and Grow Rich, or one of those books, and I end up back in that book, and I haven't underlined something. And it amazes me because I'm looking at it and it's so important, and I'm underlining that I had never underlined it before. So it just shows you your awareness and how you elevate your awareness. You can read the same material, practice, day in and day out, and you're going to grow. And as you grow, you're going to become more aware and you can understand things. So you can just keep reading the same material over and over and just get to the point where It's just who you are, living by the laws of the universe that are always working together, all of them at the same time. When you start noticing them, then you can, you wonder, well, conviction for sure. You just understand that it works for everybody every single time. There are no exceptions.
Right. And you can count on them because they're not made man laws, right? They work for all. And you could just have fun now. You could be like, okay, now that I know that, okay, all is mental. I live in a mental universe. My thoughts have energy, the way I feel. So now you start playing around with these ideas. You start toying around with these ideas. You say, well, okay, all right, let me try this. Let me try this kind of outcome for this experience. Give that your focus, give that your energy, and see what comes out of it. Start to have fun with life again. Look at it like an experiment. We're here on a journey. We're here to grow. We're so powerful. We are so powerful. So take your power back. Take your power back. Anybody else? I wanted to congratulate Wendy. I saw in the chat that she got, well, you know what, Wendy, why don't you come on and share with the group? She did a consult last Monday, but I want, why don't you say, you share your win, hon?
Oh yeah, a huge win. Like I went into a consultation on Monday and an organizing job, and I got the job. Like I walked away and had a good feeling, had a great connection with the lady. To help her to declutter and get ready, prepare her house for the stager for moving as well. And so I had a good feeling, and I did my quote, and I just put it out there for exactly the money I wanted for doing the job. You get a lot of people nattering in your ear, oh, when you're first starting out, you kind of have to keep your rates low. And I know better because it takes a long time to get them up if you don't start where you want to be. And so I put it out there exactly what I wanted. I figured the job's going to take this amount of time, and and I got the money, and by the end of the week I got the deposit. And so yeah, now I'm just gearing up for going in and everything running smooth so that I can get this job done and done well in the time allotted. And yeah, I'm just also focusing on getting the next one lined up. So when I'm done this, away we go. So.
Well, it's a big win, Wendy. I mean, I know like when we started, I remember, you were deciding between the swimming and the deck, and the organizing, and finally decided to go with the organizing.
Made a decision.
You made a decision, and things are happening exactly the way that you got your rate. And another thing that Wendy brings up that I want to really reiterate is I love the fact that she doesn't listen to what other people say. Other people's thoughts, okay, this is what we have been handed down. We've been handed down other people's thoughts since we were children. We've been handed down our parents' thoughts, our mother's thoughts, our father's thoughts, and not only their thoughts, ancestry thoughts, because their thoughts were never changed. So we're just kind of like, we're living with hand-me-down thoughts. What I love about Wendy said is that she thought for herself what she wanted to charge, and she went for that, and she got it. So I wanna thank you for that, and we're so excited. We're happy for you.
Add about the Aquafit, that's actually fitting in as well.
Oh, so, is it?
Because I managed to get a connection with a pool that I can make my own hours, and I've put it out to him, the hours that I can commit to running the Aquafit class. And we're promoting it, and I'll be starting teaching Aquafit classes at the end of the month. So now I just have to visualize having classes of a minimum of 5, because that's what I want at this price. Both of us have, and he's very much in a line, his way with his swimming lesson, his swim company, and open water coaching, everything. So it's all in line. So yeah, so now I also have to visualize that we're going to have a minimum of 5 for each of the 3 classes on the days and times that I've committed to, so that it works around my organizing schedule. So both of those have come in to play. And
Oh,
so
wow. So double win, double win.
double win.
We're so happy, Wendy. Keep creating, keep creating. Now you know that you can use your power. So you want 5, just see 5, just see those 5 already in your hands.
Yeah. No, and the energy is great because it keeps me, like, yeah, if I do by the end of the week get a little bit like off track, or you got that nattering at you from all directions like we do all day, every day, it's just this comes and resets me,
Exactly. I love what you said. It just resets you, and you know exactly, you know exactly where you're going, and
Think of it as mindset reset.
Yeah, mindset reset. All right, who else wants to share? Thank you, Wendy. We're so happy for you. Double win, celebrate.
Okay, who else has something to share? Charlene, did you want to share something else? You had something quick to say, I think, in the chat I saw.
Yes, I have mirrors on my closet doors in my bedroom, so I write everything exactly the way I want to see my life. And I put magazines, first of all, there's God at the top of the list, right? And then I put everything else that I'm seeing myself being on stage in magazines. And this month, I'm on the cover of the Drive.
Yay.
It's so amazing. You see, like you pictured it, you pictured it. I really believe, I know I'm a fan, but you really create your life the way you picture it to be. If you can picture it, then you can make it happen. And what I understood with pictures, the more I'm studying how pictures affect us, is that the pictures are the language. They are the language of the subconscious mind. So if we're not speaking to our mind in pictures, it's like you having a conversation with someone who doesn't speak your language. So imagine you're having a conversation with somebody who's speaking, I don't know, I hope there's no Italians, in Italian to somebody, and they're responding in Italian, and you're like, you speak English, and you're like, I don't get you, I don't understand you. So why I say it's so important to feed images is because images is the language. Now you're talking to your subconscious mind, which is your the creative part of your mind, which is the one that helps you create and manifest. You're talking to it in the same language. So always back up your thoughts with images, and the images should represent the feeling, okay? The feeling. That's why when we went back to the beginning and I said, what does joy represent to you? Sometimes it could be the sunshine. Sometimes joy can represent kids running around. Sometimes it could be your dog. So when you look at your dog, it brings you joy. Then that's the picture that every time you think of joy. So start putting like emotions and pictures together. Okay, so when you think of a certain person, start putting those two together, and you'll see like it actually, images also helps accelerate the creative process. This is all based in science. So so do apply. So if nobody has anything else that they would love to add to the mastermind, I hope that you guys understood the principle of correspondence and vibration. And now what you want to do this week is you want to start practicing mentalism, starting with your workshop. The law of correspondence, what does it mean? The communication you have between what you want and what you see, the communication, remember that, okay? And the vibration, how you're feeling. And now you also have
feeling is very, very, very important. Putting yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? What does it feel? So what is it that you want? And then what does it feel like now that you have it? Not one day that you're going to have it. Now you have it right now. What does that feel like? And then get emotionally attached to that feeling.
Right. And living it right now. You don't need, we were conditioned, or we were trained that when something happens, we will feel good. When I get my diploma, I will feel happy. When I get married, I will feel fulfilled. When I, am in a partnership, I will feel love. But this teaches you, this is a victim mentality, because that means that you need something on the outside to fulfill the feeling on the inside. And think of it like a relationship. If you're getting love from the outside, once the relationship leaves, what happens? You're still empty because you didn't get it on the inside. So that always leaves you in a victim mentality, and it almost leaves you, the best analogy I have is like a druggie. You go looking for love again. You like a drug. You go looking for it. When really, guys, it's all on the inside. Being a creator teaches you to take your power back, meaning you're no longer looking for the outside to change for you to feel good. You can feel good first. You can feel the success first. You can feel the wealth first, and then you make it happen.
Well, yeah, because you attract the same frequency as what you've just felt.
Right. So you understand it's the opposite of what you were taught. And the only reason we're going back and forth is because it's the opposite of what you were taught. But why you are here is to use the power of the mastermind to give you the conviction that this is how we create our reality, and to take you out of this victim mode and bring you back into your power. And then you take that power and you teach everybody else how to do it once you master it yourself. Okay, so go out there. I wish you guys an amazing week. We're gonna, close the mastermind. Of course, we invite you to read the 2 next principles. Carolyn, do you have them handy on you? Oh, okay, actually I have them.
You do.
So the 2 next principles for next week, which we're gonna go on, hold on, let me just, it's going to be the principle of polarity and the principle of rhythm. So we absolutely recommend that you guys go read them at least once, read them through once, get acquainted with them, and practice. You don't just come here to study. If you come here to get the knowledge, it's like going to a trainer. He's going to tell you what exercises you need to do, but then you go the rest of the week and you don't do the exercises. If you don't do the exercises, you're not going to get the results. Okay? So what we want you to do is to take everything you've studied today and put it into practice, put it into practice. So if something doesn't go your way, have fun, snap out of it and say, wait a minute, let me go rewrite this, and go inside and rewrite it and feel the feeling you want to feel once you want, for the outcome that you want. So have fun with it, guys. I'm going to wish you
the chat, guys, during the week. If you want any questions or if you have anything for the mastermind, just use that group chat that we have, and put your questions in there, and we'll be popping in and out of that chat every day.
Absolutely. And if you need the mastermind, to power up anything, whether it's a promotion, the sale of a house, I don't know, getting an Oscar, who knows, what you guys are up to next. Whatever it is, use the power of the mastermind. This is why we're here. And we're here to encourage you and to lead you on your journey to become the next generation, the next leaders, and to move forward. So on that note, happy Sunday, and go have fun, go play, enjoy.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Have a great week.
Absolutely. Go be creators. Go create, guys. All right. Make May magical. Let's do it.
Yeah. Make May magical.
Thank you.
Have a great
we'll see you all next weekend. Thank you all for showing up. Bye-bye.
Bye.